Why, what big eyes you have, Grandma.
Oh, the better to see you with Kirby.
You sound like a paedophile. Hello, and welcome to A Matter of Fact, a weekly podcast that proves a degree in music wasn't a complete waste of time. With me this week, I have Max Wilkins.
Hello.
Phil Jordan.
Hi.
And Laura Stevens.
Hello.
And I'm your host, Kirby Rawstorn. The game is simple. Each week there is a different topic consisting of 5 rounds, each with its own theme. We've all spent the week researching and have brought our favourite facts for each round to tell the others. Whoever has the most popular fact wins a point, and whoever gets the best out of 5 is the overall winner. For this episode, the topic is Vikings, pertaining to any of the Scandinavian seafaring pirates and traders who raided and settled in parts of North and West Europe in the 8th to 11th century. Round 1 is mythology, and first up we have Phil.
So for my interesting fact on mythology, less of an interesting fact, more of just something interesting I found by doing some research. This is actually an amusing tale of Thor's wedding. It was taken from the Lady of Thrym in Poetic Edda. I have no idea what that means, but someone out there will. In this tale, Thrym, the king of the giants, steals Thor's hammer and buries it 8 miles under a mountain. He claims he will only return it when Freya, the goddess associated with love, sex, beauty, fertility, gold, war and death, becomes his wife, because why wouldn't you? So our man Thor does his best to convince her to marry him, but she's not having any of this, telling him, you lost the hammer, you best start digging. The story goes on to introduce Heimdall, who in the version I found is described as the whitest of gods, so I kind of imagine a polo shirt, sandals and socks. Comes up with the idea of Thor himself dressing up in Freya's wedding dress and going along himself. To this, Thor was livid, but after the other gods present had stopped laughing long enough, Loki pipes up with, "Nah mate, it'll be funny, I'll go as your bridesmaid." Eventually Thor agrees, so the boys rock up in their finest dresses. Thrym is overjoyed at seeing them and throws a massive pre-wedding feast. However, Thor almost gives the game away by eating an entire ox to himself, all washed down by 3 barrels of mead. Thrym, quite shocked by this sight, comments, "Whoever saw a bride with such greedy gobble and thirst unquenchable?" Thrym, quite shocked by this sight, comments, "Whoever saw a bride with such greedy gobble and thirst unquenchable?" I did so well. Okay. Loki, realising Thor's not doing so well with the deception, pipes up in his best lady voice, "So excited was she, waiting for her wedding day to dawn, that she did not eat or drink in 8 whole days." As with most giants, Thrym sees this as cute and asks his bride for a kiss. But upon raising Thor's veil, he sees Thor's angry expression, obviously ignoring the beard, and says, "Bloody hell, what bride ever had so red eyes and brow furled?" Again, Loki steps up as a true wingman, cool as a cucumber, and says, "So excited was she, waiting for her wedding day to dawn, that she did not sleep for 8 whole nights." Again, the long-sighted giant thinks this is cute. Happy, he decides to begin the service. He takes out Thor's hammer, puts it on his bride-to-be's lap, so it too can be blessed on their wedding day. I think you can guess what happens next. Thor picks up the hammer, throws off his dress and veil, and goes to town, murdering the assembled wedding party. And that is the tale of Thor's wedding.
I do like that one.
Best post-Marvel movie scene ever.
You can see it, can't you? Just the guys from Marvel just whipping the dresses off. Loki there looking.
I had him.
suave.
Basically, as soon as he took the dress off, in my mind, he was in the buff.
Phil, I have some questions.
Raise your questions, sir.
I've been making notes as Phil has been talking.
Is it about my voice acting?
No, your voice acting was A1, spot on, superb. My first question is, Freya, what is she the goddess of again?
Apparently, from my source, associated with love, sex, beauty, fertility, gold, war and death.
Is there anything she's not the goddess?
She's kind of a jack of all
Props,
trades.
Heimdall. His title again?
Like I said, in the version I read, it was described as the whitest of gods.
No, you see, I wasn't well versed. I was not well versed in Norse mythology prior to the recent spate of Marvel movies, and I didn't realise why people were so angry at Idris Elba being cast as Heimdall. But if he is the whitest of gods, I understand now.
Well, I just got to say, yes, it is a funny story, but at the same time, there are quite a few aspects to look at. So a lot of people think that Red Riding Hood was based on this. The idea of Loki turning around and giving all these crappy excuses, because they are crappy excuses.
Yeah.
They think that has influenced Red Riding Hood. Also, a lot of people believe that it's actually a Christian parody to basically take the piss out of the heathen gods as they saw them.
Oh, darling, what a big hammer you have.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Right.
Yes, yeah, totally. And that was a horrible wedding night. I mean, gore up the wall.
I was taught that one in little school, and that for me was hilarious. I loved that when I was a kid.
Is it really that widespread?
I knew this.
How have I not heard
from
of
a
it?
young? There's an even better one, just in terms of funny shit happening, that I didn't hear until much later, quite understandably. Basically, there's the gods are kind of much more human than our, like, when we imagine God, it's a very benevolent, we're all seeing this. They often saw them as much more human and wandering around and interacting with mortals, and chances are if you met an old guy that you couldn't see his face and he asked you cryptic questions, it was actually Odin, and he changed his appearance and all this kind of stuff. And they were much less respectful to each other than you might think of. They were all kind of on a par. All-Father Odin was the All-Father. But basically they wander around doing weird shit. And at one point, they're trying to distract someone or something. To wit, Loki transforms into this horse and distracts this basically world-famous horse by running off into the woods.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of this one.
To try and basically drag this thing away to distract someone so that Thor and Odin can do something. I can't remember what it is they're doing. But basically, this is the fastest horse in the world, and Loki, as a horse, who is a female horse, can't get far enough away, and comes back head hung in shame. and then, no. Odin's got this famous horse that you will have seen in video games and things like this. It's like got 8 legs and
the 8-legged horse. The arachna horse.
That's the one, basically. So this horse, his father or mother is Loki. So Loki gave birth to the horse that Odin rides.
And on that note,
yeah. So there's some weird shit in those legends.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else on that one?
I just want to make this sole comment of you saying that they are essentially human-like wandering around the world. How the hell did the Giant King not notice that Thor had a beard? Because every physical representation I've seen, he's got a beard.
Mm-hmm. That was another one of my points. How does sleepless equal facial hair?
Yeah.
You haven't seen the pictures of Freya?
No.
All right, so moving on. Next up, we have Max.
Yes, my fact for mythology is Odin is apparently, or should be, the god of partying. During an incident where Odin hung himself from a branch of Yggdrasil, the world tree, pierced himself with his own spear, and gained the supreme knowledge of the runes, as a result, he no longer needed to eat any food and only ever drank wine for sustenance. If that weren't hardcore enough, his name translated from odor, ecstasy, fury, or inspiration, and in, the masculine definitive article, which, when added to the end of another word like this, means something like the master of. So not only did he only drink for sustenance, he's also the master of ecstasy, the kind of god that you want to go partying with.
Interesting.
I was going to say, interestingly, he hung himself. It's another twist on the Jesus thing.
Yeah.
Because he hung himself from this tree to sacrifice himself for the world, basically. And then he came back to life.
And he
supreme knowledge.
With the spear as well.
He
in his side,
sacrificed his eye predominantly. He gave up the sight of one of his eyes so that he could take on this wisdom and have this drink and elixir that would impart it, which is why he's portrayed as...
With the eye patch.
With the eye patch, etc.
Not always an eye patch, sometimes just a hole.
Dark sunglasses.
He occasionally keeps things in it.
Yeah.
Like what?
Much like when you have a dog with
like a small
testicles
Norse
removed. And you keep changing it. Yeah. Sometimes he would keep changing it, sometimes a little marble. Sometimes a little snack.
He comes across as quite emo to me. The idea of hurting himself in all these ways just for a bit of attention, and then becomes a party card.
He wanted the wisdom of the world. That's what he wanted.
That's how they'd write it, wouldn't it? All right, Laura, what have you got?
So I'm going to talk about the making of the cosmos, not cosmos, as I would very much prefer right now. So according to the Nordic myths, which the Vikings subscribed to across their kingdoms.
Sorry.
We
had to say
YouTube channel moments.
Subscribe, like, and share.
We are created from tree trunks on a world built from the blood and skin of a giant when heaven rests upon the skull of 4 dwarfs. To me it sounds a bit like Tolkien and Pratchett got together and one too many cosmos, but that's apparently how the story goes. Similar to the mythic Greek concept of the void of chaos, the Vikings believed we all started with the gaping abyss known as Yingunyap. I apologise now if I'm pronouncing that atrociously.
Where is it?
Yunnyap.
Yeah, close enough. Gungan Gap.
Yunungap.
Do not say Gungans. They don't exist.
I was going to say the Gugunian Gap, which is
It's like the
Pratchett.
baby gap for Gungan.
No, that's from Pratchett, from the dwarves. From Pratchett.
See, I told you, it's like they got together and had a bit
Gap or
too
something.
many.
It's basically the as you say, the gaping maw of Oblivion.
Yes.
Stop saying gaping.
Never.
So the super badge of the world.
Yeah, a realm of darkness and deep silence.
No.
A realm of darkness and deep silence. Yes, Laura. I'm
The
listening.
realm of darkness and deep silence between the elemental homelands of Muspelheim, which is for fire, and Niflheim, which is for frost and ice. Eventually the two crept towards each other in the abyss and frosted what it does best around fire, melt.
Melted.
And the drops formed Ymir, the first of the godlike giants, who was essentially an asexually reproducing hermaphrodite. Well, his sweat bore more ice giants. As the frost melted, a great cow, Umbelha, emerged from it, nourishing Ymir with her milk, but she also nourished herself from the salt licks in the ice. Her licks uncovered Buri, the first of the Aesir tribe of gods. Buri has a son called Bor, no idea who he had a son with, just that he had a son called Bor, who marries Bestla, and their children were the half-god, half-giants, Odin, V, and V.
It all sounds so emo. You guys are painting a picture of just...
Well, it gets worse.
My Chemical Romance with hats with horns on.
Chemical romance.
My Chemical Romance.
My Chemical Romance.
Phil, it gets worse because Odin and his brothers slew Ymir, because why not, and set about constructing the world from the giant's remains. His blood became oceans, skin and muscle the soil, vegetation from his hair, and clouds from his brains. Ymir's skull became the sky and heavens, held above by the 4 dwarfs, who became the cardinal directions Nordi, Sundri, Ustri, and Vestri. So north, south, east, and west.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Eventually, having made the world of guts and bones, etc., they took 2 tree trunks and formed the first man and woman, Ask and Embla. Built a fence around the dwelling called Midgard to protect them from the giants and to rule over them, basically. The gods' realm of Asgard and Midgard were connected by the Bifrost, which is a huge flaming rainbow bridge.
The huge flaming rainbow bridge. That's quite the other direction.
We're going back to bed.
I was in the middle of taking a drink there. I was in trouble.
But yeah, their realms were connected by a huge flaming rainbow bridge, and this...
Which was
Stop saying it.
It was fabulous.
I am.
and this
It was
is...
super.
Thanks for asking.
And this is the creationist myths that all those scary Vikings subscribed to. That,
I still think it's quite emo, but with a hint of brony.
So that was round 1's mythology. Are we going to go with Phil's cross-dressing Chris Hemsworth?
Factual.
We're going to go with Max, God of Partying, or Laura's Body Part Creationists?
It's got to be Phil's for me.
Was it the voice acting?
It was entirely the voice acting.
Man, do you know
it was
what?
amazing.
If you just tuck them back between your legs, you can get as high as you want.
Cool. Laura, who are you going with?
I'm going with Phil as well, because that was some
guys.
epic storytelling. In fact, can you do, like, some sort of voice tape?
I will try my best.
Can you do a grandmother from Little Red Riding Hood? Why? What big eyes you have, Grandma.
Oh, the better to see you with Kirby.
You sound like a paedophile.
That's
How
creepy
many
as shit.
paedophiles have you voice sampled
Too many.
On this show?
on this show? All of them.
Oh, have you heard the tame bait and switch?
You thought you knew what you were
It's a
listening
toddler.
to.
It's a toddler. No, it's not.
Phil, who are you going to vote for?
I even though it doesn't matter, I'm going to go for Odin being a party man.
Well, you say that. I'm still voting here as well.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, sorry. I just because
Changing
you
the
hadn't-
game.
because you hadn't joined in with the party.
No. I'm
You went
hosting.
from-
Okay.
But But yeah, no, I'm still throwing my witty banter in.
There was no factual addition. I wrote you off. I thought you were just the host. I apologise for making that assumption. Now vote for me.
I was going to vote for you anyway, but now you've got such a dick.
Yes.
Yes, well done, Phil, on winning that round.
I think this is one of the first rounds I've ever won.
No, I think we won some joint ones.
And you only had to impersonate a woman to get there.